Today we're talking about the most unexpected surprises of the 2026 Academy Awards. And yes, some of them feel like the Academy deliberately decided to test our patience. The announcement of Oscar nominations is always a kind of stress test for the film industry. On paper, everything seems predictable. Forecasts are locked in, spreadsheets are filled, experts nod knowingly at each other, and then the nominations are announced. And once again, it becomes clear that the Academy lives by its own rules, slightly irrational ones. The 2026 Oscars are no exception. We have expected frontrunners, painful snubs, and those decisions that make you want to argue, complain, and immediately rewatch films that once again feel unfairly overlooked. So, here are 5 of the most unexpected choices made by the Academy this year. Wicked shown the door. And this is where the first real disappointment hits. After the success of the first Wicked film, it seemed almost guaranteed that the sequel would secure at least a few technical nominations, and maybe even some acting recognition. Yes, Wicked Part 2 received a much cooler reception than the 2024 film, but a complete shutout still feels unusually harsh, especially given the expectations surrounding Ariana Grande, whose name appeared consistently in predictions for Best Supporting Actress. The Academy ignored the film across the board. No original song, no costume design, no production design, precisely the categories where musicals usually find safety. It seems that returning to Oz felt too cautious, too familiar. This year, the Oscars made one thing clear. Scale and brand recognition alone are no longer enough if there's no sense of discovery behind them. F1, Racing with the Best. Now this one raised eyebrows. The nomination of F1 for Best Picture is one of the year's most intriguing turns. On paper, the groundwork was there. A solid award season run, support from the Producers Guild, and steadily growing industry momentum. Still, its place in the final lineup feels like a bold choice, especially when you consider who it left out. Far more traditional Academy-friendly blockbusters and franchise giants. F1 became a rare example of a sports film embraced not as a genre spectacle, but as a serious cinematic statement. Additional nominations for sound, editing, and visual effects reinforce that perception. This isn't a victory of speed, it's a victory of precision, and perhaps a sign that the Academy is still capable of surprising us, occasionally. Guillermo del Toro, a genius without recognition. Here, surprise turns into genuine confusion. With 9 nominations, Frankenstein emerged as one of the ceremony's major contenders. Yet Guillermo del Toro's absence from the Best Director category feels almost paradoxical, especially considering his nomination from the Directors Guild, usually one of the most reliable Oscar indicators. Del Toro is widely regarded as one of the most respected filmmakers working today, seamlessly blending genre, visual imagination, and emotional sincerity. And yet, we're left with an odd picture. The film is recognized, the world is praised, but the person who brought it all together is missing. Not a scandal, but a telling decision, and precisely for that reason, one of the most discussed. The Brutalist, supporting roles were enough. This one doesn't shout, but it says a lot. The Brutalist's record-breaking nomination count owes much to the Academy's generous recognition of its ensemble. Nominations for Delroy Lindo and Wunmi Mosaku in the supporting categories feel less like a fight for wins and more like a statement of respect for the film as a whole. Mosaku's recognition was expected. BAFTA and Critics' Choice paved the way. Lindo's nomination, however, was a genuine surprise. His name hovered mostly in long lists, and many assumed the Academy would pass him by. But they didn't, and The Brutalist delivered a rare result: support even where it wasn't considered a frontrunner. Sometimes a film's reception isn't measured in numbers, but in the atmosphere around it. This is one of those cases. Paul Mescal didn't make Shakespeare work. And this is one of the most painful moments of the season. Paul Mescal's absence from the Best Supporting Actor lineup for Hamnet came as a shock to fans of standout performances. Nominations from the Golden Globes, SAG, BAFTA, and Critics' Choice suggested a near-perfect trajectory. But the Oscars once again reminded us, they don't follow mathematical logic. Most likely, Delroy Lindo's unexpected inclusion pushed Mescal out of the final five. That doesn't diminish the strength of his performance. If anything, it highlights just how unpredictable the acting race remains. In Oscar history, these kinds of snubs often linger longer in memory than actual wins, and this may not be the end of Paul Mescal's story.